Hi guys, welcome back to the Brown Señoritas podcast. I'm Desi.
I'm Caro.
And I'm Stacy.
And today we are doing a special episode for Mother's Day.
For our mamas.
Yeah.
And all mamas.
That's Madres.
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow is Mother's Day in Latin America.
Yes.
Right?
Is it tomorrow?
I don't know if
we celebrate May 10th.
See, I don't even know.
Oh. So yeah, May 10th. So
May 10th. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then here in America, or here in the United States, it's May 4th, or that second Sunday.
Every second.
So it's going to be on May 14th this year.
Mm-hmm.
So our moms are kind of lucky because they get 2 Mother's Day celebrations.
No, that's kind of special.
Yeah, they always get 2. And it's funny because I'm like, sometimes I like kind of forget to do something on the first one. I'm like, oh, I'll just...
Yeah. Like the gift.
I have 3 more days.
I'll go harder the second time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Like tomorrow we're taking out my mom and grandma out to dinner. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know if I could make that my gift, but I'm like, well, I still have another Mother's Day to like give you a gift for. You know what I mean?
2 gifts are going to be spread out.
So I might just take her out to dinner and then get her a gift for Sunday.
Yeah.
And my grandma.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going out to dinner on Thursday.
Okay.
So, but I might drive down there tomorrow and give her something just because she's not expecting it.
So that'd be nice.
It would be nice.
Yeah, that's so cute. Are there any traditions from your own countries that you have for Mother's Day? Like, what do you do for Mother's? Like, is there a thing like this is what we do for Mother's Day?
Breakfast are a big thing. Like, you take them out for breakfast. So most places in Mexico are like full for breakfast, lunch, and dinners. Mm-hmm. Like it's.
I feel like a lot of people do breakfast in bed for their moms, but I don't. My mom.
Yeah, that is a thing.
But my mom is not a breakfast girly, so we don't do that. We don't.
Crazy.
No, my dad always has us do something as like my siblings and I. He's like, make sure you do something. So we'll write her notes or give her a gift. I always have to be the one to be like, okay, what are we doing? Oldest daughter
like
syndrome.
Everything.
Oldest daughter syndrome, I guess.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is a thing.
Oh yeah.
Like we're
in charge.
I'm planning a Ragnar race. Have you guys heard of that?
No.
You're planning one?
Yeah.
No,
my family.
I totally know what they are.
Yeah, so it's a relay race.
Yeah, you run in chunks.
It's 200 miles that you have to divide between 12 people.
Yeah, so it's like the first person run 10, the next person 12, the next person 5.
Yeah, anyways, I'm in charge of that, and I'm like, of course.
Wait, why are you in charge?
I volunteered to.
Are you going to be running it?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're going to try to shoot for the end of the year. But then, like, any family trips, me. Or, like, me and my sister.
They just stress you.
We plan it. And, like, even there's times that my mom will call me, like, hey, can you make me a reservation for a hotel? And I'm like, you literally take orders from Japan. Because she sells, like... fabric or like telas?
That's
fabric because it just sounds funky in English. So she's like buys from Japan and sells them in Mexico, and I'm like, you literally do this crazy thing, but you want me to like call a hotel to make a reservation for you or like do it online, like the easiest thing, right? Okay. But like just because maybe they're so used to like us doing stuff.
Yeah. My mom's Superwoman.
Yeah, you're always dope.
Yeah, she does everything.
Awesome.
I was thinking about her today because we talked about doing a Mother's Day episode, and I was just like, what do I want to talk about? Like, because I was like, I want to talk about my mom. Obviously, she's like all I know in terms of mothers.
Yeah.
And I think I got pretty lucky because I think I got a pretty cool mom. She's like my bestie.
Can you think of like a special memory you have with your moms? Like if you can like relive a moment with your mom, what would it be?
And why? So many. My mom and I, it's funny because in high school, it's not that we didn't get along, we just fight all day, we just fought all the time. Because she's a young mom. I have a young mom. So me and I have like an older personality, I would say. Like I always wanted to grow up faster than I needed to. So like in a lot of ways we would just butt heads because we're not that we're similar, but
well, that's very normal though.
Yeah. But throughout high school, I was just like, bro, this lady, she's
driving me crazy.
But now that I'm an adult, like ever since college, like it is smooth sailing. Like, we are just...
You guys are really besties.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's clear. I see that.
Yeah.
But is there, like, a moment you're like, if I could, like, relive that memory again, that was so sweet, what would it be and why?
There's this one time I was going to this, like, girls' camp or something, or some young women's thing. And before we went, my mom was like, hey, let's, like, I'm going to take you out to dinner. Like, let's go get dinner. And that was weird because we didn't grow up going out to eat. Like, we didn't do restaurants. Like, that wasn't really us. But she took me out to eat, just me and her. And we got there and they're like, hey, we messed up somebody's order, so we have a free order of, like, nachos if you guys want it. And Mom was like, yeah, totally. So we ate nachos and then we were, like, full. And we're like, we feel bad just leaving and not buying anything, but we got full off all the nachos. She's like, let's order dessert. So we got dessert. And, like, I think about that day all the time. Like, oh, that one time. And I always think, like, when I'm a mom, I'm going to take my kids out to dinner. Like, just me and you. Like, just one at a time, you know?
Yeah.
Because I remember that all the time.
My parents used to do that. They would have date nights with each of us.
So cute.
So nice. And it's interesting too, like, this memory of yours, it's probably not something that she thought it was that special to you.
I told her about it. She doesn't even remember it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's crazy because our parents, like, be doing the most for our birthdays, for, like, special occasions. Like, they go crazy. Like, they want to make sure you feel so special. But, like, little do they know that your memories and the most special memories you have with them are the most simple. It's like, it's the moments you felt the most love. Because for me, like, my favorite memory I have with my mom, which at the time I didn't think it would be my favorite memory, but I think about it now so much. And it was kind of like a stress moment for me because my hair was really curly growing up, and I hated it. Like, I never wanted to have curly hair, so I used to go get Brazilian blowouts. But the first time I went to get a Brazilian blowout, my expectation for it was for my hair to be completely straight. I was like, I want it super straight.
Flat.
But my mom, I remember, my mom took me to the salon and she told the lady, hey, so we did a relaxation instead of an actual, like, like, blowout. So it just relaxed the curls. And my mom didn't tell me that that's what she asked the lady to do. So I was so mad at my mom because I went in wanting something and she totally, like, behind my back was like, don't do that to her curls because I love her curls so much. And then I remember, like, I went home and I was just bawling. Like, you know, you just go, like, when you're 14 and you're just going through it.
Yes, everything is the end of the world.
And everything is the end of the world. I remember sitting on my mom's bed just, like, bawling my eyes out. Like, I felt like the ugliest little girl ever. I was like, my hair. And I remember my mom just, like, holding my hand, just like, you have the most beautiful hair I've ever seen. Like, and she was just, like, hyping me up so much. And, like, little does she know that helped me so much. And I made her life so difficult because I remember so mean to her. I was like, you lied to me and you did this and I'm so ugly. Like, I literally made her day so miserable because I was going through it. But, like, she didn't get mad at me. Like, she could have easily been like, shut up, you know, whatever. Yeah. And she was never like that. She's never treated me like that. But I remember her just, like, hyping me up and telling me all these beautiful things. And she's that kind of mom. Like, if I think of my mom, I think of my mom hyping me up. It's funny because the other day she sent me a message on Instagram. She reacted to one of my pictures that I posted on my stories. And she's like, oh, you really are a Kardashian. Like, that's, like, her compliment for me. She always hypes me up so much. And that's, like, she doesn't even know that means the world to me.
Oh, yeah. My mom's my hype woman, too.
She does not even know. It changes everything every time she says something.
I can't imagine how some people, and I guess this is just, like, pure luck of mine, but, like, some people don't have a good relationship with their moms, like, or some people don't, like, really have a relationship with their moms, and I don't know how people do that because I would pass away without my mother. Like, if my mom, like, I don't know what I would do without her.
That's interesting. I want to hear your favorite memory, but I want to go back to this because I want to say something about that. That's really interesting.
Yes, like, I'm trying to think of one, and I guess I've had several, but it's like, I guess one of the things I admire about my mom is just she tried her hardest to, like, cook meals for us growing up. Now that I'm, like, trying to cook for 2 people, technically 1 because Natalia doesn't really eat as much right now. I'm like, wait, you're telling me my mom did this
like
every day
How?
for 3 children in a different country, and there were times that there wasn't enough money and she was just trying to put things together. And so like for me, yeah, I guess my memories are just like my mom's food, if that makes sense. Like
just brings you some kind of
like it kind of makes me emotional just because like I always like, maybe because I didn't grow up with typical Mexican food, like, you know, my mom didn't make tortillas, or she didn't like do your typical dishes.
The whole thing,
yeah, or like she's never made menudo. I've never had menudo to this day. Like, was it cow tripe or something?
You're not missing out.
I know.
Have you had that?
Yeah, we have it in Guate.
Yeah, so like I didn't grow up with that typical, and then I see women like moms on TikTok, right, like making big meals for their families. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. But then I like think of the meals that my mom made, and I'm like, I still like, those are still my thing, right?
Yeah.
I grew up loving, again, mashed potatoes, corn.
We're back to the mashed potatoes.
Gotta mention that.
But it's because her mom made her love
Oh, that's why you love it.
Like pancakes, like I know, and anything like music that she used to listen to. That's what I love, like 80s music, like the Cranberries, Celine Dion, like all that stuff I love. And so like I think for me it's just like maybe seeing my mom in the kitchen making food for us, listening to 80s music, you know, like I have parts of that in my memory. One specific one though, real quick, is that we were just driving down like Orem Center Street. I must have been like in college. I can't even remember. I was older, but I don't even remember. Anyways, we were talking about like my future. It must have been like after or before my mission. And somehow we get to the point that she was like, you know, you're capable of doing anything you can, like you put your mind to. And I'm like, you're right. Like for me, like I
can,
like, for my mom to tell me you're free to choose whatever you want to be.
Yeah.
I just remember that moment in the car and I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. And so I always think of that when, if I'm going through something hard or whatever, I'm like, no, my mom told me I can do anything.
That means so much. Every child needs to hear
and
that.
I will say, my mom has a tough personality. Some people might call it the typical Latina mom. She has her moments for sure, but then there's moments like that I'm like, just because she's so harsh sometimes, those moments mean a lot to me because she doesn't really express a lot, like her emotions.
Yeah.
Or like the true love. Like I didn't really grow up hearing like a lot of positive things. It was always like, I don't even know how to describe it. It was just like, oh yeah, you're pretty, but like tell me why. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't
like, there. There wasn't a lot of validation.
Yes, not a lot of validation. I was told my whole life like, oh, you're so pretty, but I'm like, but why though? Like I didn't really understand it, and I will say a lot of, you could say, traumas that I still hold on to regarding my physical appearance is because of the way of how my parents raised me, and specifically my mom. But I've come to the point that I'm like, she knew, or like she did her best with what she knew. Yeah. You know what I mean? So there's been a lot of forgiveness, and just like, because I see how she struggles now with her physical appearance still at an older age, and I'm like, you know, like you just get, at least for me, I'm at a point that I'm like, I need to show her love.
Yeah.
Like how I wanted to be shown love, like I need to show her that, because I do have the tools. I have been taught that, but she wasn't allowed to express that for herself. And so there's, my relationship with my mom still kind of up and down sometimes, but I always hold on to like, no, like she is on my side no matter what. Even if she's like, has her crazy moments, like I know it's all because she literally loves me and wants to protect me. And now with Natalia, my baby, and I'm like, oh my gosh, am I gonna be like my mom? Like there's parts of me that I don't want to be like my mom, but there's times that I'm like, I need to be like how my mom was. That strict, that like, you know, home by 9, even though I'm still in college, you know, because who knows, it could have saved me from a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and it probably did.
Yeah, and I didn't see that until literally I had a baby. I'm like, okay, yeah,
I bet
sleepovers for you.
having a baby, becoming a mom, just really makes you appreciate what your mom.
That's what every parent
sacrifices. Because I see what my mom does for me and my siblings, and I'm like, I'm never doing that. Like that's That's too much.
Yeah.
She does too much.
Yeah.
Like, she'll literally cook for us and clean and organize things and plan trips. And I'm like, bro, we're just along for the ride. And so I'm like, I don't know if I can be a mom. Like, my mom gave me too big of shoes to fill. Yeah. Like, it's too much, too big.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need my mom to suck a little bit more just so I could be a little bit better of a mom, but I'm not.
But I feel like it's not like Caro, for example. Like, she will know. Like, I feel like it's not until you have your own child that you're like, I would do anything for this kid. Like, we would never know what that feels like. Yeah. I feel like moms, like,
something.
I don't know. Do you feel like you didn't know you could love this much until you had Natalia?
I had, like, danger to me was just like, like, dangerous places. Like, let's say, like, I think of all the times that I put myself in dangerous situations, like, out on the weekends partying at the clubs, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, if my mom knew, she would have a heart attack. So now I'm like, oh my gosh, if Natalia ever does that close to anything like that
imagine.
I'm putting a chip in my babies.
Oh, those thoughts have definitely come across me.
I think I have been chipped.
That's fine. That's fine.
Literally.
That just means they love you and want to protect you.
Like, yeah. I mean, and again, the times that my parents raised me, times are different now, all that stuff, right? And pros and cons, but I had no idea. And then, well, my mom was 38 or 35. I don't even know. She was like in the mid-30s when they moved to the United States. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be close to my mom's age here pretty soon.
And she already had
had 3 kids. And for my parents to just like, let's go to America, even though we had been here several times and we were pretty familiar with the place, probably more than some people. But still, the fact of, like, let's bring our 3 little children here.
Dude, yeah, no, that's crazy.
And, again, there were times, I mean, obviously we went through rough times. And I never knew that we were, like, low on food. You know what I mean? Or, like, electricity. Mm-hmm. Like, I had no idea. My parents did an amazing job at, like, trying to cover that for us because I am grateful that, in that sense, that I never stressed. Mm-hmm. You know, because I hear of other, like, immigrant children that they're, like, or stressed.
And they're also out there working.
They're working to pay bills for the family, which I never had to go through at such a young age. Because you don't know what's going on that young. Mm-hmm. You just want to help your parents, you know? Mm-hmm. And so...
I swear we could talk literally 18 days on just, like...
Because I feel like this subject kind of crosses over with lucky girl syndrome, like what we were kind of talking about, like how we feel so lucky as being daughters of immigrant parents. And what that all entails. Because it's such a big... There's so much.
There's so much. And, like, we were talking about before the episode, we're like, we should talk about, like, how, like, being an immigrant has influenced, like, how our mothers treated us. And I'm like, wait, no. We need a whole series on that. Because there's literally so much. And we will do that. We really will.
But for today, I think we want to shine more light on like the
just the beauty of our mothers and everything motherhood
that they've done. It's just insane.
Do you guys like? Maybe it's just me, but like, as a kid, your mom's just there, you know. Like she's raising you, she's nurturing you, she makes sure you're okay. But as an adult, my mom has no obligation to continue being like.
Nice.
Right. No, like, she's raised me. She did her job. And, like, it's funny because I said my mom and I kind of, like, butted heads in high school. But, like, I put my mom through a whole lot more shit now than I did then. Like, now as an adult and I'm, like, living my own life, I know I make her sad and suffer. And yet, the love that she shows me is unconditional. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you don't have to. You could be mad at me. You could be like, don't do that. Don't live like that. Don't do those things.
Yeah.
And there she is. I come home and there she is giving me hugs and kisses like every day. Mm-hmm. I'm like, bro, that's crazy. Like, I love you more than I did when I was little. And I'm sure I didn't think about it maybe, but now I'm like...
It's because you grow up and you
recognize, right?
Like, you recognize the effort.
Yeah.
And how hard it is to be an adult. And then being an adult, having kids, it's like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess anytime I think, like, I'm upset at my mom or something, I'm just like, why is she like this? But then I literally always go back to, like, dude, my mom always fed us. You know, like she always cooked the meals for us.
Like she kept you alive. You owe her everything.
Like that was her way to express her love for us. You know, like yeah, maybe I needed like, hey, Caro, you look so beautiful because of this and this. Like that's what I did need.
Yeah.
But like
it's good to recognize that.
Yeah, it's for sure. I'm like, okay, that's a need that I need to work on for myself now, right? And now she's way more open about expressing that side of her, like compliments, you know. But I can't ever like be too mad at my mom because I just think of all the things that she did for us growing up, and even the fact like it was her idea to come to the U.S. It wasn't my dad's. She just wanted a better place for us. And I'm like, and she knew fully that she had to leave family behind. She didn't know if they were gonna go back to Mexico. They had to leave friends, you know, work, community, your culture, your people, for me and 2 other girls, you know, my sisters.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
She did all that just so we could have a better opportunity, better life here. And yeah, there's times that I guess there's like that, I've seen it on TikTok, but it's like that immigrant guilt, which again, whole other subject. Because I see all the things that I am blessed with now, and I'm like, why can't my parents, or why couldn't my parents have that at my age? You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas now I'm like almost like more, like I've progressed more than them, but it's because of them.
Yeah, because they open the way for you. I think about that a lot. Every time I go on vacation, I feel bad. I'm like, I wish my parents could have.
Like, I wish I could take my mom all over the world, you know? But because of certain situations, that's just not a possibility. And it's just like, you feel trapped, and I hate it. And it's something that makes me kind of sad. But, I'm just grateful for my mom. As tough as she may be sometimes.
What are some things that your mom did to you in terms of raising you that you're like, I have to repeat this when I'm a mom?
I think, and this is just because I was raised in a religious home. Just going to church every Sunday. Right now, me and my husband have been slacking a little bit because we're like, oh, Natalia doesn't really know if we go to church or not, right? But we've talked about it, and we're like, it's going to get to the point that we need to start making that a habit because she's going to start noticing. And like, I just remember having that as a foundation. Even when I was crazy and partying and drinking, I would still show up to church the next day hungover because that was just established.
Right.
I would feel more bad about not going to church than drinking. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. That
was so ingrained to me, and some people might think it was like brainwashing or whatever, and that's fine. But that's just something I want to continue. And if for some reason she changes her beliefs or anything, that's totally fine. But at least it's almost my peace of mind that I at least tried to show her, what I grew up with. Oh, and also Disneyland trips. Those were my favorite growing up. Those are my childhood memories.
That's so fun. I've never had them, but I'm gonna make that happen.
Yeah.
Oh, you still haven't been.
No, I want to have kids so bad just so I can take them to Disney.
Honestly,
we have to go. I know. I think we
let's
should go
right
now,
dude. What if
we should go in October for Halloween?
No, let's go for your birthday after the concert.
Like we just drive to California.
Just right after.
Let's just drive to California.
Okay.
Sundays.
Actually, I won't be able to sleep for 6 months until that happens because I'm gonna think about it every day.
Maybe let's figure it out.
Okay, so I won't have kids. You guys just take me. But I was gonna say one of the things my mom always respected my opinion on things.
Oh, I
and
love
I think that's so rare. Like, and I've only come to appreciate and realize that way later in life because that wasn't important to me when I was little because I didn't understand how important that is. My mom always asked for my opinion on everything, and I feel like because of that we built such a friendship more than a mom and daughter relationship. It was more like a friendship because my mom would ask me my opinion on everything. Literally, men she was saying, clothes she will wear.
And that wasn't a very popular parenting style for
not
her
at
generation.
Not at all.
I would say it still isn't.
It's still not very common. It's very new.
I love that.
And I think that kind of came with the situation because my mom didn't raise me. My dad had, what's it called? custody of me and my siblings, and we were 100% my dad's. So I saw my mom growing up a lot, but she didn't raise me. You know, she wasn't the type of mom that taught me a lot of like lessons, I would say. Like, you can't do this. She never told me no for anything, which can be a little dangerous.
Right.
So, like, there's that, right? Like, it definitely isn't a perfect relationship because of the situation I come from. However, she did always treat me like a human being.
Yeah.
Like, I was never seen as a child. I was never seen as a robot. I was never seen
You were validated.
Extremely validated by my mom.
And that's
like,
really important.
I value that so much now. Like, she will always check with me first, and until like she values my opinion so much. Like, sometimes she'll ask me, like, she will literally call me and ask me, what do you think I should do? Like, parents don't really do that, and I think it's so vulnerable of her to do that, and I love because
she sees you as an equal.
Yeah, literally, she would ask me, like, do you think I should take this medication? I'm like, I don't know. Like,
you're the mom.
And like,
you're the adult.
We have that kind of relationship where she really values my opinion, which I appreciate, because more important than feeling validated, it built my confidence.
Right.
Because I'm like, my mom thinks my opinion matters, and whatever I know about life is of value to her. And it made me really confident.
Yeah. No, and that's actually what I was going to say about something my mom did. My mom was, my mom's a go-getter. My mom doesn't sit still. My mom's consistently on the move. Like, growth mindset. She's like, how can I be better? How can we improve? How can we learn? And so with my siblings and I, she was so adamant about us. Her big quote is, I don't care what you do, just do something. So my mom, since we were little, since I can remember 2nd, 3rd grade, she was like, hey, what sport do you want to play after school? What activity do you want to do? Like, I played volleyball. I was a cheerleader. My brothers played football, soccer. She would take us to cooking classes. She'd take us to the library every week. She was so involved in our, like, education, but not just education, but like our life experiences. She wanted us to experience everything and learn everything and just enjoy our childhood, which in turn made us very confident kids. Like, we were very, like, all my siblings and I are very outgoing. We're very, like, I can be in any situation and talk to anyone because I'm like, I've done this before. I've been in awkward, weird situations and I've done it and grown and learned. And so when I'm a mom, I'm like, oh, I'm 100% copying everything she did, because not everything, but just like having your kids, making sure that they're living life and enjoying and having these cool experiences is something that I as a teacher, I see now that a lot of these kids don't have that. And I'm like, dang, I got so lucky, because my mom would be like, okay, we're going to the public library, and if you read all these books, you're getting a free ticket to a baseball game, and then we're going to go watch the Diamondbacks. And that was like, we were actively working towards something. Yeah. And I see my kids, my students, that don't have necessarily the most present mom, and they go home and they are raised by video games, or they are raised by TikTok and social media, and they don't necessarily have the best vocabulary, have the best habits or the best behavior, because their mom wasn't always present. And my mom she was present, and she was a stay-at-home mom for the most part. It wasn't until probably high school when we were like, okay, we gotta kind of save up for college and stuff like that she started working. And even when she did work, she was working at our school. She was bless her heart, she was my dance teacher.
She was?
Yeah, she was my dance teacher in high school. And if you ask her who her favorite student was, it was not me. If you ask her who her least favorite student was, it was me. I was the worst student to her.
You'll take advantage of
I was like, my mom's my teacher, I can do whatever I want.
That's funny.
So my mom was very present, and I think that's something I want to do. I know if there's a situation where I need to work for whatever reason, I'll do it. But if I don't have to, I'm not going to work. I want to be there with my kids.
Me too, because I just think of the times my parents were too busy and how deeply that affects a child. Like,
and there's nothing wrong with being a mom and working. Like, I probably will do it, because I also can't sit still either. But there's something so good about a child knowing that their mom is there, or dad. stay-at-home dads too.
Whatever works.
Whatever works. But
I mean, but sometimes, especially in the situation that we come from as being like immigrants, being present sometimes is a choice. And a lot of the times it's just a privilege because sometimes that's not possible. Like when
it's 100% isn't.
Sometimes you both parents have to work if you're an immigrant. Like it just won't cut it. Yeah, and it is what it is.
Well, and then there's the language barrier, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of what we were talking about. Like the kids are learning English. They speak English at school. They speak English within like their siblings, but then the parents don't know what they're saying. Because they don't know English or maybe the slang of English. And so there could be literally a barrier of communication between like, the kids and parents. And so then that creates complications and challenges as you're developing as a kid. And so that's another challenge that I think, the Latino or just immigrant community has. And everyone, I think, can relate to some aspect of that. I never really, luckily, like both my parents knew English, so I never had to like translate for them. I can't even, like, I see those TikToks of, like, when I was 8 and I had to translate, like, legal papers to my parents. I'm like, what? You poor child.
I know, I didn't have to do that either because my mom spoke English. But both my parents spoke English.
Oh, I definitely have to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. My heart goes out to all, like kids that were really, went through it.
Well, because they kind of become a third parent to their younger siblings. Yeah. That happens a lot in immigrant families. Like the oldest child, that's the first person that speaks English in the family, takes on a ton of responsibility because they're the ones that can speak English, so they are the ones doing a lot of the work that their parents can't or don't understand.
It boggles my mind. I think now, obviously older, and I think of my childhood. My childhood was like Utah. I think of my time in Mexico, and there's only so many memories. But then when I think of my childhood here, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know. My parents just did a really good job at like integrating us in the community. Luckily, we knew English. My parents were able to attend like parent-teacher conferences and talk to the teachers. Like I
hated that because my teachers were always like, she talks too much, and then my mom would be like,
we know.
And now I'm the teacher.
Well, see,
and now I'm the one complaining to mom.
Crazy. It's crazy.
So I don't know. I think of my situation, I feel very lucky and blessed because I see other situations. Like on my mission, in Oregon, it's very, at least the areas that I served in, one specifically, everyone there would se llama piscar. I think that's what they call it, piscar. They were the ones picking the blueberries, the strawberries in the fields. And literally, like, if mom needed more help, the kids would go. They don't care if the kid is underage. They just need you to
get the job done.
And so, like, we'd go teach, and they're like, oh, we're so sorry. We just got home from work. And they're all tired. They're feeding us. And the kids are over there, like, super tired with dirt on their faces. I'm just what? Like, it breaks my heart. But that's just the reality for a lot of people. But I don't know.
And I think we are very three blessed human beings. Yeah. And even though each of us have our own challenges, some harder than others with our moms due to circumstances of life, I feel like I do want to shine some light on the people that are just like us that, might not have the best relationship with their moms, and sometimes Mother's Day can be a really difficult day for either you that are a mom or you that are a child with a difficult relationship or a non-existent relationship with your mom. One realization I've had as I've became an adult is when you're little or a teenager, there's not a lot of effort that is expected from you as far as building a good relationship with your parents. The only thing that people really expect is you need to respect your parents and be obedient to them. But I don't remember being conscious of putting in the effort to build a relationship with my parents. It always just came about naturally, and it all relied on the parents having a good relationship with their kids. But now, and this is just my view, not everyone might agree with me, but I feel like now that we are adults, things are so much different. So what do you guys do as far as your own efforts to keep or to feed a good relationship with your parents, especially your moms? Because don't you think that kind of happens? Like you become old and now there's a whole other world of expectations. Like, you're an adult, and now your parents expect a lot more from you.
Yeah, like, kind of what I was saying earlier, like, I feel like my parents, moms.
Are you on a friend?
Am I? I might be. Let me come back.
There you go.
They don't necessarily have an obligation to be nurturing anymore. Like, they've raised us, right? Something, and I kind of wanted to say this, okay, I'm tangling my words.
Go for it, because that's how I talk.
So my mom, to build a relationship with us, and this is something that I want to do as well when I'm a mom, I had a lot of friends still say, oh, I don't tell my mom anything. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes I'll say, like, oh, I told my mom this, and I tell my mom this. And, like, you tell your mom all of that? You talk to your mom about all those things? And I'm like, yes, I tell her everything. Like, obviously, maybe there's a couple things in life but I can't even think of
No one should know.
Right. The things that are just for my eyes only, right? But my mom, when we were little, she'd put us to bed, and she would sit with us. So she'd talk to us. When we were like, so we would have pillow talk. Like, we'd be in bed, and she'd just sit, and she's like, how's your day? What happened at school today? Tell me about your friend. Tell me about this. So my mom was involved to the point that I, to this day, have to do that. Like, I call her. I'm like, hey, guess what happened at work today? Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, my friend did this. Get this.
I love that.
Or I'm like, oh, I'm planning this. Or, like, I tell her everything. And that's something that I do because she did. Mm-hmm. She did that. So now I have that
habit.
Yeah, and now she's my person that I trust fully. Like, I'm telling you, when I tell her everything. A lot of the things that people do not tell their parents, I'm like, Mom, guess who came over last night? She's like, no way. So I have that relationship as an adult with her because she put in that effort when I was little.
Yeah.
And I think, and all my siblings have that, like, and my dad too. I honestly do think, I don't want to talk too much about the people that don't have a good relationship. Not that I don't want to talk about it. I just don't have a lot to say. Because I have been so blessed.
Yeah.
And when I see people that don't have that, I genuinely just feel so sad. And I literally tell people, you can borrow my mom. You could borrow my dad, and you can borrow my siblings. Because I'm so lucky. So if you're one of those people that doesn't have a good relationship with your mom, like I'm so sorry, but you really can borrow my mom. She's available to everybody. I swear.
I was gonna say mine's like the complete opposite.
Yeah, mine too.
Of that, like, I think what I've learned now, just going through the passing of my brother, taught me that I'm like, you know what, life is literally so short. Why am I gonna stay mad at you over something that I know I'm right on? You know, just kidding. But like, just
I know
like
I'm right, but I'll forgive you.
Yeah, and I think just because I just know how my mom is. Just because I've had there was one time, I have to tell you guys this story. My mom told me for like 2 days straight, gotta pick up your room, gotta pick up your room, gotta pick up your room. I was like, I'll do it.
I lived through that.
Junior high. This is junior high time. So I was just like, whatever. Literally, I come home from school one day and my friend dropped me off. Like, her mom was driving us home. And we drop off and I'm literally like, I see my house from far away and I was just like, what's all that stuff on the front?
Stop it.
Bro, she literally grabbed all the clothes in my bed and threw them outside for everyone to see. The bishop lived in front of us too. And literally, I remember there was a bright orange bra just like in the middle.
Oh my god.
And I was just like,
that's not where I live. Keep driving. Keep driving.
My friend's like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh my gosh.
So funny. Oh, I would have been terrified.
To this day, they still like, hey, Caro, remember that one time your mom did this? I'm like, of course I remember. So my mom was just that way.
I'm dead. I literally lived through the same thing. My mom would always be like, clean your room, clean your room, clean your room. Never did. My mom took my room away from me. Yes. So I had to live in the basement. Not the like cute part of the basement with the carpet.
With the sketchy.
The unfinished part of the basement. The cement walls.
Oh my god.
I had to live there for like 3 months. During my birthday. During my birthday. They came to see me las mañanitas in the unfinished part of the basement. Because I didn't clean my room.
Stacy's just in the corner.
I'm like, it's cold in here.
Where's the light?
Yeah. Okay, so I don't have the perfect mom. I still went through it.
Your mom still got a mom.
Oh, she still got a mom. My mom is gonna mom.
So my mom, she was that extreme in some.
Okay, so I guess our
situations.
moms are similar in some way.
So I've just learned at this point in my life how I'm trying to start my own family. She has her opinions about it. And they literally, like, she tells me these things. They hurt a little bit sometimes. And I'm just like, psh, gone. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, for me, it's just to, like, forget.
Yeah.
You know, forgive and forget. That's kind of how I'm working through balancing my own family and, like, my old family relationship. So, yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at.
A lot to deal with.
It is a lot. But you know what? Like, there's so many... I have a mom, you know, and a mom that loves me. And
did your mom spank you?
Not that I remember. She would pinch me.
Bro.
My mom never spanked me. One time, she picked up a high heel, and she, like, was gonna throw it at me, and I was like, you can't do this.
You ain't
to
going.
me. And, like, she just
put her hand down.
She literally started, like, she had a laugh attack.
I'm dead.
Like, she lost it. And we just ended up laughing. She's never been able to. My mom didn't really, like... correct me.
I'll tell you this.
I could do a lot of... I was a good kid, but if I wasn't, I would have gone away with a lot with my mom because she never told me no.
That's funny.
I don't know how bad or good that was.
I'll tell you this. I got spanked. Badly. A lot. Damn. I wouldn't say badly because my parents got spanked badly.
Yeah.
So... they got spanked, like, they would get spanked, like, we call them cinchazos with the cincho.
Yeah.
And my dad would be like, me dieron 18 cinchazos. And my mom's like, a mí me dieron 15. So, like, to them,
they could never
giving us 4 cinchazos, they're like, oh, but we got 15. And so, like, it got better. But I'll tell you the story of...
Wait, did you get spanked?
No, I got pinched more. Like, pinched between the...
Ouch!
My dad would pinch us during sacrament meeting.
That's the only time.
If we were being loud, he would just pinch us. Bro, I would sit there
really.
all of sacrament meeting. And I'm like, I don't want my cousins to see me crying because I got pinched.
But it's like...
No, dude, it would, like, bleed. It would, like,
okay, maybe
tear skin.
Parents don't understand that this is how children start hating going to church.
Yeah.
Because they make it so miserable.
I have PTSD from sacrament meeting. I'm just kidding. No.
That's why I don't go to church.
The last time I got spanked was the worst of it. The worst one ever.
You remember?
Oh, I was 13. I was a teenager.
What'd you do?
I didn't clean my room.
Oh, damn.
I didn't clean my room.
Yeah. Your parents
that was
really not having it.
The cleaning my room and the talking back was, like, my eternal downfall. Like, I wasn't the kid that was, like... well, then I wasn't the kid that was, like, doing naughty things, or I wasn't the kid that was, like, stealing
giving
or lying.
trouble.
No, I was just the messy and the back talker. Like, my mom would always be like, she'd always, like, hit me on the mouth. And then the joke is that's why I have big lips now. But no, I didn't clean my room, and I was in the shower getting ready for school, and I hear her come up the stairs, and I was like, bro, she's gonna see my room, and I'm in the shower. And I didn't clean it. And she just walks in the bathroom, opens the curtain, me booty ass naked. And
she got beat naked? That's humble.
And wet, like, in the shower. Dude. She just started whipping that belt, bro. When I tell you, I had bruises. And not because she hit me so hard. I don't know what it was. But...
yeah, sure.
I don't know. But I lived to get back at her, though. Because that night, I saw the bruises on my legs. And my white aunt came over, who's very, like...
gentle parenting.
Not spanky. And so I put shorts on, and I walked downstairs.
Nobody can see this.
And the first thing she says... I put on shorts.
She wanted
I wanted her to see it. And my aunt goes, what happened to you? And I just look at my mom.
It was her.
And I was just like...
those are those awkward times.
My mom still hates me because of that, though. Yeah. But that was the last time I ever got hit. 13.
I think it must have been something similar to that when we first moved here. I want to say, like, the first year. I had just learned that, like domestic abuse, you could call the cops and they would show up.
You know how many times I've threatened my dad?
I I like
calling DCFS on you right now.
Literally, I have threatened
I was
him.
like, wait, you can call the cops if your parents hate you? So I was like, I'm guessing maybe my mom hit me or one of my sisters, and I was like, Mom, did you know we could call the cops if you hit us? She's like, call them and see what happens. We're gonna go back to Mexico. She's like, you want me gone or do you want to be gone? And
That's true.
See, that's
but see,
double
some people
manipulation.
and like some people that I talk to now, they're like, oh, I have like legitimate traumas from my parents hitting me. I don't.
I know.
Like to me, it's funny. I'm like, oh yeah, you used to hit me. Like it's funny, but I will not be hitting my kids.
Yeah.
Like yeah, maybe a spank. Maybe a spank.
I think it's completely unnecessary.
But like
to like beat a child, like
the belt,
you don't need to be
multiple in the shower,
naked,
wet, and afraid.
That's like integrity. Yeah, that's
at 6:30 in the morning. Like, girl, you woke up and chose violence today. You woke up and you just, I'm gonna go hit these kids.
She's like, these kids.
Girl, bye. At least wait till like noon.
Literally, alarm goes off. It's time.
Because literally, here's my thing. I can never understand. Okay, I don't have a kid, so I really can't say.
Me either.
But like, I don't understand how parents actually get themselves to beat up a little kid.
Okay,
like,
I'll tell you this.
Like,
as a teacher,
there
are moments where the kids are so bad, I really just want to grab them and just be like, stop!
Okay, but like, I got beat up for things that weren't that bad.
Right, a messy room.
That was not necessary. Like,
did it change anything?
No.
Look at my room now. It has not changed.
Like,
bras
it just made me so mad at you.
Bright orange bras.
I don't know. I'm very, very against it because I think it does not help. A child should not be afraid of their parents.
No, I agree.
I have been scared of my dad. I just don't think that's necessary.
It is interesting. I guess I'm so not scared of them now that I forgot that sometimes you did something and you're like, or do you ever get the look from your mom in public? And you're like, oh, I'm going to get my ass beat as soon as I get home. Do you ever get that? No?
I think it's okay to be scared like that, but not
see, I got that look all the time. I'd say something to her in public, and she'd just look at me.
There's
and I knew, it's going down at home.
There's like an Instagram where there's some small movement going on called Stop the Chancla movement or something.
Stop the Chancla. Honestly, I'm all for it. I think...
Do you guys ever legitimately get hit by a chancla? Like an actual chancla?
Oh, yeah.
I did not. I got hit with a belt.
Yeah, I got
bare hands.
Oh, and the paleta.
Must have so much hate to get her children.
Right? Spatula.
Bare
hands.
I'm just gonna...
No, literally. I got beat with a bare hand.
I wouldn't...
How much hate is in your house?
Dude, one time I got slapped. Not by my parents, though.
Oh, I was to the face? To the face?
It was my aunt.
Your aunt slapped your face? See, yeah, the face?
Looking back, I'm like, oh, yeah, I kind of would have done the same. I had told one of her friends that was coming over that she wasn't home. But I was like, my aunt told me to tell you that she wasn't home. I ratted her out.
Yeah.
Okay, that was dumb of you, I'm not gonna lie.
That's why I was like, across the face, though.
Yeah, not across the face. Like, and not your mom.
It wasn't like a huge, crazy slap. It was like enough to like make my head turn. And I was just like, did she just slap me?
Do it to me. Do it to me.
Did she just slap me?
No, I don't want to do it.
Are you crazy?
Let's do like novela. Yeah, like that, dude.
And won the face after.
And like, I was just like, how could she ever do that?
Yeah, no, that's not cool.
When I was probably
no, absolutely not. Like your aunt, no.
7. But now looking back, I'm like,
did she just slap?
I know, what the freak? Anyways, I'm fine. She's cool. I love her. Like, no bad blood there, but I was just like, what the hell?
Well,
you got
parents and their interesting choices. Latino parents are definitely come from a time and a culture that is...
I'm just glad I'm not.
What's the word?
Violent?
Aggressive?
Well, they just didn't have the education to know how to correct children.
It's just different.
And they didn't know how to speak up either. Like, you did what your parents told you to do, period.
I mean, yeah.
Like, my mom told me, like, she wanted to be, what is it? Like, those flight attendants.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandpa shut her down because like the flight attendants sleep with the pilots. You can't do that.
I'm dead.
Yeah, dude.
But one idea that crossed his mind
or like
was
just
that.
the perspective.
It's like besides the fact that you can travel the world.
Right.
Well, I don't know how like culture saw flight attendants like in the 60s, 70s, right? Because they're like starting wearing short skirts instead of pants like they used to. So anyways,
that's stupid.
So I'm like, anyways, yeah. I don't know where I was going with that thought.
Well, did you know that the highest cheating job, if that makes sense?
Yeah.
Cops.
It's cops, flight attendants, pilots.
Because they're always traveling in hotel rooms.
Yeah.
Hey, there's another one. I don't remember.
Teacher. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. That was a joke.
Real estate agents.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
But, I mean, kind of makes sense. But it doesn't.
Let's end this episode with
A good note.
A good note. Let's we can say something to our moms. Maybe they'll listen.
Dude, my mom still has not asked me a single thing about my podcast.
I don't think my mom knows I have a podcast. She's like, "Are you coming over?" No, I'm recording the podcast. She like literally, it's like,
what's that? Well, my grandma has no idea what a podcast is. I told her. I was like, I'm gonna go record a podcast with them. ¿Qué es eso? I'm like, es como un show
de radio
que solo hablamos. ¿Y de qué hablan? De todo, de la vida, de...
I know,
¿Y quién los escucha? No sé.
Actually,
Aisha.
a lot more.
Yeah, no, for real. I guess, well, okay, I'll say something to my mom. Hi, Mom.
Yeah,
I know you're listening because she does listen to my episodes.
She does.
Yeah, and my dad too.
I know she does.
Okay, wait, this is weird talking to her through the podcast. I'll just speak generally. I love her. No, she's the best mom in the world. Even though, like, obviously there are things that she did growing up, and we'll talk about this in other categories, other episodes, such as health and, stuff like that. But it's cool because I can talk to her about all of this now. I tell her, hey, you did this wrong. This was bad. This did not make me feel good as a kid. But she's like, oh, like I didn't know that made you feel bad. And that has helped me be like, okay, now I'm going to do this different. Yeah. But
there's
for what I got,
than when parents like realize.
And that's the beautiful thing. I tell my mom like, hey, I have these traumas because of you. She's like crying because she feels so bad. My friend tells me, I told my parents that they gave me traumas and they're like, no, we didn't. No, we did not. And I'm like, what?
You've seen those TikToks? Like,
no.
When you tell your parents trauma and it's like, I have to send it to you, but it's a sound that's like, really? Where? When? Like, never.
No, my mom's very like, oh, I'm so sorry now. But
it's like, if you didn't, I probably would have turned out better, don't you think? Yeah. Like, you complain about me now, but the reason why you complain is because you made me like this.
Yeah, no.
So really, that's on you. Anyway,
to all moms out there, I think, like we said, moms are the hardest working, most underappreciated roles that humans have, and I think women that are mothers are super women, and I can't wait one day to be a superwoman.
I guess that could be fun.
A fat baby.
I have my moments.
And happy Mother's Day to you, Caro.
Yeah,
you are incredible. Mom. We see how
so
Natalia is so loved.
I'm gonna cry.
No, really though, like you're so good to her, and
she
has the best mommy.
Yeah, I would like to say, for all of us, that I'm so glad you did it first.
I'm glad it wasn't me that did it first.
Because I'm like, it literally gives me so much confidence. Because I'm like, dude, she was not ready for it. Like, and she knows it. And she says it. She recognizes it. She was not ready for it. And to see someone figuring it out every single... Because, like, we see each other a lot. So, like, we've seen all the little seasons of motherhood until this day for you. And it's like... You've figured it out every single time.
Yeah.
Every season, every step, every growth, like everything. And I'm like,
baby is safe. Baby is happy. She's loved.
She's alive, and she's the cutest little thing in the world.
Oh, she's perfect.
And it's just like, I'm so glad you did it first. Because like, I don't know, it just gives me a lot of confidence and like...
I like being an aunt.
I'm like...
First.
I'm glad that she's figuring it out for us. Because now when we have our babies, it's like, Caro, what'd you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing us a service here.
And not just like us, but like you're very like active on social media about things like that. And so I think you're really out there helping a ton of girls. And
I feel like there's so much,
so true.
Like, so many things I actually want to talk about on social media, but it's weird how like there's like almost like a vibe in the new mom community that's like, we just don't talk about our problems even though we all know what we're struggling with.
Yeah.
We just don't.
We gotta talk about them.
And it's not because I think we're ashamed. Maybe it's because we think we're the only ones going through it. Because, like, I think of, like, my hard moments. I'm like, no one will understand.
There are 7 billion people in the world. And all those people had a mom.
Right.
So anything that anybody goes through, get real. It's not original. We have no original thoughts. We have no original struggles.
What has been the hardest part about motherhood for you? Let's make it relatable.
There we go.
I think trusting your own gut has been, even though I thought I was very confident in trusting my instincts, there's certain things that I still like second guess myself. And I will say also, you have to get used to thinking about a million things all the time. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why I have taken a step back from real estate, like, full-time, just because I'm like, I'm either a good agent or a good mom right now. You know, I'm giving myself that grace period.
Oh, there's only so much your brain can take.
Yeah, because I see all these, like, amazing real estate moms, and I'm like, how are you doing this good in your business and, like, raising 2-3 children? But I'm like, hold on, I just had a newborn. You know what I mean? Like, these moms are handling, like, 7, 8, 9-year-olds. Kids that are a little bit older, so I also have to give myself grace. There's just so many things. I think for me, it's just dealing with the anxiety that I have to take care of with human being 24/7.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have great help and great support, but when the saying, like, it takes a village, it really does. I never had a clue of how important that is. And now I think of my friends that had babies before me, and I'm like, I was such a bad friend. Like, I could have gone over and just washed their dishes. Because really, everyone thinks
Do you want us to come over and wash your dishes? Because we will.
I think we've been bad.
Yeah,
no, you're
I'm
fine.
not one to wash your dish.
Well, I was gonna
I don't
say,
wash any dishes, if that makes you feel any
I don't even wash my...
No, well, what
I don't eat on dishes. That's how...
Like, a lot of people think that I want time away from my baby. It's like, oh, let me take care of baby so you can go to sleep. If anything, I want more time with my baby. Yeah. I want to be literally next to her
my house
24/7, do everything else. Mm-hmm. So now, like, I think of, like, baby shower gifts. I'm gonna give you a freaking gift card to pay, like, a house cleaner.
Like, now you know, like, what's really important.
I know exactly what they are. Like, I'm gonna send someone to clean it, you know, do the laundry. Like, those little things are insanely...
That's why she did it first, dude.
For real.
Like, sure, give me baby clothes, right? Diapers are huge, but, like, it's just the maintenance that comes with, like, everything else.
Things people don't really consider and think about.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things. I'm just very grateful because I obviously see the struggles of other women trying to get pregnant, and it just literally breaks my heart. I never understood, and I'm not in their shoes, but now that I have a baby, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, this connection, this love that I have for this human being, someone out there wants this.
Yeah.
And they are just not able to
That's
obtain
so
it.
true.
And it literally makes me so sad for strangers I don't even know out there. You know what I mean?
And that's true for anything. Anything that's hard for us, someone out there wants that.
Someone out there wants it. And so, like, when people are like, how are you doing? I'm like, you know what? I have the normal, like, I'm tired, whatever. I got really lucky with a baby that has slept through the night for the past almost 6 months. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane. But yeah, you still have your moments, and you just have to give yourself grace. There's days that I'm put together and I can run errands all day like today, and then I just know that for the next 3 days I'm out. Like, I'm out of energy. I'm gonna stay at home, you know? And yeah, there's a lot to that question, I guess, but I'm figuring it out.
But you're killing it. No, you're killing it.
Really killing it.
Yeah.
I will say it's very interesting how your instincts do take over. Like, I feel bad for not doing more research regarding breastfeeding because I feel like I should have done more. But at the same time, I knew it was going to overwhelm me because it's just so much. And even though I only did breastfeeding for 2 months and then I got her on formula, like, that was probably the best for her because I was eating like crap for after the months that she was born, and I wouldn't want to give that to her through my, through my chest. And the formula that I got her on is really good, and to this day she's never been sick. You know what I mean? So it's just like little things like that you start looking back and you're like, like I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
Like she's alive
and safe
because and keeping a baby alive.
You just understand women so much more. There's a group in Haiti I donate to, and it's a place called Baby Haiti. I think it's called Baby Mama Haiti. And it's literally moms that go to this place to have their kids because
like to deliver a baby.
Yeah, because in Haiti there's something called mom prison, delivery prison. Literally, people go there to deliver babies at hospitals, but they won't let you out of the hospital until you pay your bill, and it's only $1,000. But they'll let be like, okay, we'll help you have your baby, but after that, you're on your own. Good luck if you can find food. We won't let you out of the prison, the hospital.
This is in Haiti?
This is in Haiti.
It's so crazy that women have babies in prison because that is just the saddest thing ever.
It's literally it's a very sad situation. So this organization finds women that are about to deliver or have their doors open for anyone that needs to deliver, and they go deliver there. And they don't have to pay anything.
Wow.
So you just donate. So it's just open. Like, I would have never cared for that. I would have been like, oh, that's kind of sad. Next. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think a hard thing has been opening myself to thinking about the things women actually go through every day with children, with babies, being pregnant. It gives me anxiety to think for them like that. But then I just realized, I'm like, you know what? I got to be in the present. This is my reality. I got to be grateful and take care of it. So anyway, that's my long answer. So well.
No, it's good and rich.
I love that though. I'm glad that you're growing and learning through all of this, and it's not easy. And I can't imagine it. Like my mom was done having kids at my age. I could not fathom even having a kid right now.
My mom already had all three of us.
So I salute you. Not just you, but like all mothers, single mothers that have to work a bunch, mothers that are away from their babies, women that can't have babies and want to be mothers.
Women really are special creatures.
We're here for you. We're sending you all the good vibes.
Yeah, no, seriously, I really believe that angels watch over us at times, and just I don't know, it's just. Also, we are the angels to those people, right? So at least I'm trying to work on being more aware to know who needs my help. Even some stranger at Target. Like, I've heard of people like, oh, I'll just hold your kid while you check out. You know, just those little things. Like, it takes a village. It really does take everyone to help you raise your child.
Yeah. So, and we're here for you.
Mm-hmm. For me?
Yes.
Oh, I was like, yes, for you guys.
And for you guys. And
thanks, guys. Now I have definitely got a lot of support, so...
Well, happy Mother's Day to everybody listening. We hope that you all feel loved and appreciated, because motherhood isn't easy. And I mean, from what I see, right?
From what we see.
I don't know. I hang out with a bunch of 12-year-olds, and that's not easy. So I can't imagine you guys hanging out with those all day long. 3:20, I'm like, bye!
Well, you technically have them longer than they do. Or maybe about the same amount of time.
Well, if they're sleeping. Yeah, who knows? Anyway.
Dang. Well, thanks for listening, guys.
Happy Mother's Day.
Feliz Dia de las Madres.
And this will come out after Mother's Day, but...
Well, before the United States Mother's Day.
Right.
Yeah.
After Latina Mother's Day.
Right.
So, if you're listening to this, we hope you had a good Latina Mother's Day.
Yes.
And we love you. Thanks for listening. See you next week.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.